So breaking news or not breaking news, depending on who you are and if you've already heard about it. But state of emergencies have been issued, at least for the state of Virginia at this moment, and other states are considering doing the same. Are we ready for what is coming? This seems to be the start of something major that could really spiral out of control if things aren't changing faster than they need to change. And this all stems around the government shutdown, but so many other things as well. We could experience blackouts. We could experience so many things, cyber attacks, you name it, is out there on the table. And many people are preparing for it. The question is, are you preparing for it? How should you prepare for it? What should you be doing? So let's get into what exactly is happening right now, and then we can get into all of those other things. If this is something you want to see, definitely hit that like button, share this video out and helping it out to more people. If you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, leaving your tips and ideas for others, and let's get into it. So SNAP benefits, and I know a lot of people have said in my other videos when I talk about SNAP and that it could be stopping. A lot of people say, oh, well, let it stop. Not thinking that down the road, you don't know where you're going to be. And you may be like, well, that ain't going to be me. You never know what's going to be you. And you never know how it's going to transpire. So Virginia declares a state of emergency. Other states prep for fallout as shutdown threatens food stamps for 42 million people. States are warning that they won't be able to provide food assistance on November 1st. And also we're going to get into some of the things that people think is happening or about to happen. And are we headed for another Great Depression? Unless the government reaches a deal. So we'll see how that goes this week, whether the government reaches a deal or not. With more than 42 million Americans at risk of losing SNAP benefits because of the government shutdown, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin declared a state of emergency on Thursday to help ensure that the 850,000 people in his state who rely on SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, don't go hungry. The Commonwealth will provide food benefits until congressional Democrats, and I'm going to say and Republicans, because you can tell who wrote an article, come to some kind of agreement. SNAP, more commonly known as food stamps, is the federal government's largest food assistance program. It is operated by individual states, but is funded entirely by money from the federal government. Agricultural Secretary warned last week that there are not enough funds to provide SNAP benefits to keep the program operating as long as the shutdown continues. States have begun warning that they will not have funds to distribute SNAP benefits, and some of them have already started telling people you need to be preparing. Take advantage of the money that you already have on your card or whatever, and get the items that you need that are necessities. Okay, all that snack and all that other stuff, you might want to cut down on some of that, because snacks are good to have, but you might want to cut down on some of that and get the necessities that you will need, shelf-stable foods. So we're talking about millions and millions of vulnerable families, of hungry families that are not going to have access to these programs because of this shutdown. A bill to ensure that SNAP would still have the funding to send out the benefits throughout the shutdown was introduced on Wednesday in the Senate by Republican Josh Hawley. The proposal faces long odds of passing amid the ongoing stalemate, and that's telling you that it's going to take weeks, if not months. And guess what? November 1st is next week. So some policies experts say that the U.S. Department of Agriculture has the legal power, if not obligation, to tap into emergency contingency funds to cover the SNAP shortfall. Estimates suggest, however, that there is only about $5 billion available, which would not be enough to even cover the $8 billion it would cost to pay out November SNAP benefits in full. So Virginia has a state of emergency that is taking place right now. moving on to the next one. So we could experience blackouts. Blackouts can be in a range of, well, it's too much going on the grid, and they turn it into a brownout, which means that the electric companies go in and they, from a certain hour of the day, will shut the power off to people. And that's called a brownout. Or there could be blackouts where there is a cyber attack or just something wrong with the grid, because y'all know the grid is weak. And we are without power. Without power means you are without access to funds. So you may need to go ahead, if you have money in the bank, try to take out some at the ATM. Small bills are preferable. Some things you can do now is start stocking up on water. You cannot have enough water. And make sure you're storing it properly. Be discreet when you are shopping right now. When you are out and about and you're buying in bulk, or if you're like me lately, I haven't been able to buy in bulk, but I get here and there. So it doesn't, I'm not seeing going into my house with a whole bunch of stuff at one time. So be as discreet as you can when it comes to that. Know your surroundings, know your neighbors. You don't have to be best of friends with your neighbors, but know your neighbors, because that'll kind of give you an idea if SHTF hits the fan, who's going to be the first one knocking on your door to see if you have some food. Think about writing down your recipes that you like or that you want to try, or something that's simple. And when you're stocking up, try to get a lot of shelf-stable foods that don't have to be prepared over your stove because you don't have power. And especially if you don't have a backup way to cook, i.e. a grill or a camping stove, or some way that you can cook your food. And then I already said, know your surroundings, know who's around you. Store extra fuel. No power means no fuel. No power means grocery stores will shut down really fast. Okay. So having what you need now saves you from having to go out when the looters may be out there, and you will put yourself and your family in danger in doing so. Having a way to protect your family when you're out, having a way to protect your family when you are home, and knowing how to use it and when to use it. Before the blackout even happens, make sure that you have those small amount of bills. Make sure you have your shelf-stable food. If you are good in your home and you don't have to leave your home, that is the best way to be, and to say that you are actually ready. But in case you have to leave your home, do you have a plan already before the blackout, before before stuff happens? Make sure you have a plan. Okay, that plan should entail where you're going to go, the routes you might have to take, because if you last minute have to exit out, and this could be weather related, it could be anything, you have to hightail it out, then you need to know a route, and more than one route if possible, to get to where you're going to go. And if you're separated from your family, like if they're already out and you're home and something happens, what is the plan? Is the plan for them to get home, or is the plan for y'all to meet up at a separate location because your home has been compromised? So that's something you have to think about as well. And note that you need to pray, plan, and prep. Okay, I'm not saying all this without putting God first. So for those who say God will protect me, God will provide, yes, God will do all of those things, but God also wants you to contribute to that. So what are you doing to help the situation? What are you doing to ease your family's nerves about what all is going on? And that's where that comfort food is going to come in. So yes, we need shelf-stable food, but we also need to make sure we have comfort food as well. Add to your first aid kits, And if you're writing things down like recipes and that stuff, so you'll have it in a blackout situation because you have no access to internet, you can't just pull up your favorite, you know, whatever, how to, you want to have something written down, or you want to go and buy you this book. And I wish I could show you this book. Hold on. Let me show you this book. I have to change my screen in order for you to see it. Okay. This book right here, Navy SEAL's Guide, Bug-In book. So much in here. I'm only going to name a few things that I pinpoint in here. This book, you're going to 365 days without it going bad. Okay. How to stockpile a ton of water and for it not to go bad. They show you that in this book. Okay. Also in here, how to make your property safe from looters. Okay. Tips and ideas in here on things you can do. Items to stockpile for the next U.S. blackout. Yes, that is in this book. So I encourage you to find this book. If I can find the link to it, because it's been a minute since I got it, but I will put the link in here. How you can store rainwater safely. All these things are in here. So let's look at let's see if I can find it, what others are saying about what could possibly be coming. And some have curse words in it. So
I hope you guys know that we are probably going to have a Great Depression way worse than it was in the 1930s. Inflation is keeping up with the stock market, meaning your retirement funds won't be meaning shit in the next 40 fucking years. On top of that, unaffordable housing, unaffordable everything. Let's not forget to pay attention to your food. Notice how it's getting less and less, but it's more expensive. Think about the cost of living going up 10% of each week with every working American. Think about it for a second. It's not about working hard anymore. It's not about working hard for everything that you want, for this dream. This dream is dead. All of this is just legalized slavery at this fucking point. The job market being fucking shitty. That
he got too much curse words in it. Okay, so let's move to the next one.
You remember the Great Depression?
I do. It was in 1932 when the Depression started. And there was no job, there was nothing. Everybody was in welfare. And so,
And mind you, the Depression was October 1929 to 39 or something like that.
a lot of them were going far away to see if they look for a job. Some they stay, some was in welfare. But I don't know how long it lasts, but it lasts quite a bit.
How old were you?
I was 13.
You were 13? I think the Great Depression started in 19 1929 or 1930? Who was president?
Hoover.
Hoover. Okay.
Yeah, that I remember. Because nobody liked him. Nobody liked him, but he was there. Couldn't do nothing about it.
Why didn't they like him?
Because there was I guess, because there was a lot of poor people, and Hoover wasn't Hoover
Helping?
Huh?
He wasn't helping? He wasn't helping?
And Hoover, during the Depression, Hoover is for the rich people.
Oh.
See?
Okay, so let's get the next one. And this is just people's opinions. You're entitled to your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And when you get in my comments with your opinions, please be mindful of not being rude to state your opinion.
This FBI whistleblower has a warning to the American people.
About a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America, and I'll give you my professional opinion. I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. There are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. As a person of
And if you are out shopping, pay attention to the people around you. Not to say just look at what they're buying. Yesterday, I was in the store, and I'm going to make this quick story. I was in the store, and I could tell this man just by how he held himself. He seemed either police, military, or something. And he was with his wife. They weren't like a young couple. They were middle age. And she was busy trying to do whatever. And he was like, okay, what I need you to do is we need to beef up our pantry. We need to get more food in our pantry. And that caught me because I hear people's conversations in the store, and not all the time do I hear any conversations like that. So I'm telling you, pay attention to your surroundings. You don't have to yourself say, oh, I'm stocking up a pantry. But pay attention to other people's conversations, because some people are paying attention to what's happening in the world, and they know that what happens in the world can definitely happen here. So that being said, we need to be doing that. Hold on. What happened? It just knocked me out. Okay. I had a phone call and it completely knocked me out. So let's finish this one up.
faith, I'd say pray the rosary and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
This FBI whistleblower.
And that's all you can do. Okay, let's go to the next one. I think it's just one more, if I'm not mistaken. So this one. Okay, I just watched that one. I think this is the last one. Okay, I was making sure it was up. I haven't quite listened to this one, so I don't even know what he's about to say, but let's hear him out. And for those who think, well, I'm not on Snap, this doesn't affect me, again, you don't know what is going to affect you down the road, because we don't know how bad things could get. No one can really predict that. They can say things, but no one can really predict it. And that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is hopefully jolting those who have not started stocking up some. You don't have to stock up a lot, but definitely I feel like we should all be stocking up some. I'm still slowly getting my my pantry together. So yeah, I still have some gaps in places that I don't want to have gaps at, but I'm getting mine slowly but surely. You can only do what you can do when you can do it, basically.
Get ready, something big is coming. A few of my sources have reached out to me over the past week and said that we are looking at a pretty scary next couple months. I mean, today we already had the Amazon Web Service internet outage, and then we're getting reports that people are not going to be receiving their benefits like SNAP and EBT. I think people are
back to the internet outage. I think people didn't make that a bigger deal than it really was. Even I didn't mention some things that were happening because at the time I didn't have the full story. But when that internet outage happened with Amazon and with those other companies that I talked about in that video, you can go check that video out. What was also happening was Venmo went out. Venmo is how a lot of people use their funds. Everything is through Venmo. So people were not able to get money out. People were not able to pay bills. People were not able to buy food. So we need to think about those things. And that's where that small amount of money set aside could definitely help you if you have that to set aside. Because I know not everybody has that. Sometimes this months I don't have that to set aside. But try to build that up as fast as you possibly can.
At the breaking point right now. The economy is doing rough. Our relations with other countries and the trade that's going on, that's looking really rough. So just be ready, because I think from what I've heard from my sources is these things are just the beginning, that things could be getting a lot worse from multiple angles. Get ready, something big is coming.
So we're going to end it there, y'all. I hope that this video was helpful and useful. Please, again, put any tips and ideas you have for others down in the comment section, okay? Because every bit helps. Each one, teach one. If you have something that you're doing and you don't mind sharing it, rather, feel free to share it, you know, if it's working for you. It doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. Everything I do don't work for people as well. So, but you never know, because we all live in different areas of this world and things hit different in different scenarios. Again, stay prayed up, pray, plan, and prep. Get to planning. I know y'all praying, so get to planning and everything will work out how it is supposed to work out. We're going to get through. Not everybody's going to perish when SHTF happens, okay? That's not the case. So what do you do when you are surviving a situation? Will you have what you need? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Those things do help the channel grow and get out to more people. Welcome into all the new subscribers. Welcome back if you are returning. And if you are undecided, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because you know you keep coming back. And I'm going to give you what you need over here. I'm going to give you the news that you can use on the go. I'm also going to give you tips and ideas on things that you can do. We're going to do cooking over here. We're just going to do it all, okay? This is a all things in channel. I hope that you guys are getting ready, and I'm sure that most of you are. Y'all take care and stay safe. Keep your head on a definite swivel.